tonight. Thank you for joining in to the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma, myself, my co-host Linda, and my other co-host Kimberly. Give it up. Woo! All right, just to let you all know, this is a Christian-based talk show, and we don't mind you coming on the show, whether you're a Christian or not, but you will not change us from being Christians, okay? Because we know that Jesus died and he rose again, and we love that. And we always start off with a scripture, Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, which begun the work, let me start over, being confident of this very thing, that he which begun a good work in you will, did y'all hear that? Will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And then I always like to do a motivational. In order to succeed, you must first believe that you can. And that's good for anyone. So tonight we're blessed to have on our show, we have Leesa and we have Chris. And we're going to get all into their business tonight. And we love getting into your business. And we want you all to share, what is your passion? How did you get here? What's going on in Leesa life and what's going on in the Chris life? And we're going to find out. And they have good things to share tonight. Okay, so we want to hear about your ministries or whatever, where you from, what you've been doing in this COVID. You know, COVID is just taking over and everything. And we are practicing social distancing, so that's okay. All right. So tonight, Leesa is going to share with us about her business, and Chris is going to join in, right, Chris? Okay, Chris is going to join in, okay? All right, Leesa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
I can tell.
So excited. I've been working since I was 14 years old.
Well, you're only 20 now, right?
Thank you, ma'am. Absolutely.
Oh, she's 21? Oh, okay. Good. Okay, so you've been working since?
I have. I've been working since I was really in junior high, and all through high school, and put myself through school. And I always worked, and I was always very loyal and dedicated in everything that I did, but I always wanted to find something and get behind an industry or a career in something that I could really believe in.
Oh, that's good.
So I spent 16 years in the training and development field, and I did a lot of travel, had a great time with that. And then after almost 17 years with a company, they basically said, hey, thanks for all the great work and all the business that you brought to us. But guess what? We've been sold again, and here's your paper. So good luck to you.
Wow.
So I found myself at a point in time in my life to where I'd spent most of my career on the road during the time that my son was growing up.
So you have children?
I do.
Gosh,
I do.
you're 21? No, I'm just How many children do you have?
I have two. I have a son and I have a daughter, and I have 5 grandchildren.
Wow. I need to see your license. I cannot believe you look this young and you have 5 grandchildren.
Oh, bless your heart. Can I come on the show more often?
Oh, God, I'm at the, hey, give me some of that. God, that is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. So, I'm so excited to be here. So, I started studying and really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this next chapter in my life.
Okay.
And I had a friend who told me about solar energy about 3.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she was out of the Kansas City area. And she said, Leesa, I never saw myself as doing residential sales, because we both came out of the corporate America world. And she said, but you really ought to look into this.
Okay.
So I did. And it blew me away, because you know what? I realized God gave us this amazing sun.
Yes.
Yes.
The sun.
Yes.
And that sun
And it's
has
hot.
Yes. we are in Texas.
I know it is hot.
Texas. And then when I realized that is something it's a commodity that we can all participate and enjoy in, I started studying the solar industry, and now I just love it. And so just a few months ago, I was with another company for a couple of years. I learned a lot. It was a great company. But then I had an opportunity to actually do something on my own.
Wow.
But backed by close to $1 billion organization.
Wow.
And so Chris was my mentor over 2 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
And so He's been very successful. He has an amazing story. And to have him as my business partner, I just couldn't be more blessed.
Good.
I could not be more blessed. So that's a little bit of,
how long you been doing this? You say
The solar?
Right. I've been in solar for over 2 years.
Okay.
Wow.
But I've been in my own business for about 2.5 months.
Oh,
Going on
okay.
3 months. So I'm launching,
right.
this is launching Leesa's solar business, and I'm super excited.
Oh, okay. So,
So-
now this is Leesa Solar.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can find me at Facebook at SolarSunshine USA,
Okay.
and my email address is Leesa@solarsunshine.earth.
Okay.
My name Leesa, it's Leesa, by
Yeah,
the way.
because I should
It's
let
a
them
little
know
different. It's a little different. Thank you,
Not
Mommy.
Lisa,
Yeah.
it's Lee.
Yeah, so that's what my mom did. She spelled my name L.
She wants you to be different.
I'm unique.
That's right. She
Right.
wants you to be
Right.
different. So that's it. So
I'm
tell
different.
us a little bit about solar energy. What is solar energy about?
Okay. Well, I'm so glad you asked.
Oh, good. Good answer.
So
All right.
I
Because
just
see,
so
we don't
happened
know.
to have a
Okay.
little bit of a little presentation. Can you
Okay.
see this, Miss Linda and Miss
Can you
Kimberly?
see that? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to start with a little bit of trivia here.
Okay.
Okay. Just some fun facts. So did you know that the sun, this is a multiple choice, A, B, C,
Okay.
or D.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
All right. So put your thinking caps
I
on.
put my thinking wig on. Think, wig, think.
Let me share that wig. Let me share
All right.
that wig.
I'll put my thinking wig on. Okay.
So the sun generates enough energy in 1 minute to power the earth for A, 1 day, B, 1 week, C, 1 month, or D, 1 year.
Okay, I'm gonna be so smart. I'm gonna pass it to Linda.
Okay, Linda.
We say 1 year.
Okay, which one do you think, Linda?
Can you read? Can you
Sure.
read
Okay. So the
again?
question is, Miss Linda, the sun generates enough energy in 1 minute to power the entire earth for A, 1 day, B, 1 week, C, 1 month, or D, 1 year.
I'm gonna say D.
Okay, she says D. What
She
you
says
say,
D.
Kimberly?
I'm gonna take D for 500.
Okay. D for
Okay, I'm gonna say for 1 week.
Okay. So we've got 1 year, 1 year, or
1 week.
1 week. And the
And you
answer
can't answer,
is
Chris.
No, I played the fifth.
Okay,
He
you
plays
plead
it.
the fifth. You can't answer. What's the answer? 1 year. I lost. Wig. Bam.
You need a new wig.
Y'all did good.
I know. So isn't that amazing?
That
I
is.
know.
Oh,
The
1
sun
year.
generates enough energy in 1 minute to power the whole earth for 1 year.
Are you
Wow.
serious?
Barely even touch the surface. Can you see why I'm
Wow.
excited about what I'm doing?
God is amazing.
That is
Wow.
interesting for 1 minute.
That means
Uh-huh.
no electric bill.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So here we go. So another fun fact. Solar energy is the Earth's most available energy resource because it can be found anywhere the sun shines,
Right.
right?
Wow.
And sunlight can travel from the sun to the Earth in 8 minutes.
Ooh.
Wow.
I mean, it takes me 8 minutes to walk around my block,
Wow.
right?
right.
So just think that the sun rays can travel
To
from
the
the
Earth.
sun all the way to the
Yeah.
Earth in 8 minutes. And solar energy, it can be used to heat water and power cars, airplanes, calculators, and other small appliances. You can even use it to cook food.
Wow.
And what's exciting for both Chris and I is we can actually convert that into your own home energy,
Wow.
just using the sun's energy to power your home.
Okay, when you say cook food, can we have a question and answer? Or you?
Oh, sure.
I knew Linda was gonna say something about food. I knew she was gonna say something about food. Now, what was the question, Linda?
When you say it cook food, you have enough solar energy in order
Yeah.
to cook food. How is that possible?
You can-
how would this solar?
Small appliances. And in fact, there's a recording back in, I want to say in the 1780s to where there was a ship that they were using, that they were able to harness some of that energy from the sun to actually use that to help cook food and et cetera. So
Really?
yes. And you can use the solar power for small appliances, your oven, your microwave, those things. Absolutely. And even there's some RVs that have little solar panels on the RV that they can use when they're camping.
So it comes from the solar panel on there, and it can cook. So it can cook me some pork chops.
It can. You can cook you some pork chops.
With less fat.
Yeah, you bet.
That is awesome.
You bet. Okay, another one. Another. Can we do one more?
Yes,
One more.
whatever you
Okay.
want to do.
All right, one more.
This is interesting.
So, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1921? A. Sigmund Freud. B. Albert Einstein. C. Henry Ford. Or D. Madame Curie.
Like I said, I'm going to stay with Henry Ford because I love driving a Ford.
He's going to go with the Ford. Okay.
Okay, now
All
what
right.
did you all say?
Madame Curie.
She only saying that, Madame Curie.
Madame Curie. Okay, Miss
And if
Linda.
she didn't get it, we're going to rewrite the book so she can
Okay,
get it.
Madame Curie.
And I-
What do you say, Carlos?
I'm still going with Madden.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right,
Madam, who would
Carlos,
you
that's
say,
right,
Linda?
that's
I had
right.
between Einstein and Curie, but I'm gonna stay with D.
D. Okay, Madame Curie.
And Chris cannot answer.
Hey, no.
Okay? You already know the answer. You cannot answer, Chris. What's the answer, Chris?
What's the answer, Chris? Come on, Chris. Come on.
Come on, okay. What is the answer, Chris? Come on, okay. What is the answer, Lisa?
All right. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll.
What's
Here
the
we go.
answer?
And the answer is Albert Einstein.
Albert!
He was
Why
thrown
would we
off.
should have
How
known
he did
Albert?
it?
He's
He
so
was thrown
smart.
off.
Albert Einstein,
Albert is
actually.
so smart.
Yes.
Wow.
So Albert Einstein, he won the Nobel Prize for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect,
Wow.
Oh,
which
the
was
photoelectric
really the start
effect.
of when we started into the solar
Really?
industry.
Wow, that
99 years
long.
ago. 99 years
God,
ago.
Isn't that something?
That is something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't
So
even know
here
they
we go.
had Nobel.
I didn't either.
All right.
I know, I didn't either. Like,
21.
me either.
I mean,
1921,
talking
that's
about
good.
solar now, this back. Okay. It's the Flintstones. Okay.
So you want to read the question?
So how do we harness the power from the sun so we can produce our own electricity? Anybody know? Is this a multiple choice too?
Great question.
What is the
Thanks for
answer?
asking.
I love you, Lisa. You're so excited. Do y'all know the answer to this question? That's awesome. Chris, you can't say nothing. Okay, so how do we
Oh, it's not
know? How do we
multiple choice?
harness the power from the sun so we can produce our own electricity? How do we know?
Here we go.
Wow.
You ready? So all we're doing, just think of it. Here we've got this magnificent sun.
Mm-hmm.
We have solar panels. You've seen solar panels,
Yeah.
right? You're seeing
Right.
more
That
and
in my
more.
neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, you see those solar panels. So what we're doing is we're just taking the technology because the sun is free, right? The sun is
Yes.
free. We
And
have
the
access
sun's
to it.
set free is
So
free
all we need is
indeed.
that technology to take that
Yes.
sun and convert that sun's DC current into the AC that we need for our home. And
Wow.
we do that by installing solar panels. And then the solar panels then have an inverter. And the job of that inverter is just to convert that sun's energy into the electricity you need for your house. As that energy is being created, it's actually going to go and turn your meter back. You know, on the side of your house,
Yeah.
you've got a meter
Uh-huh.
for your
Right.
utility company.
Right.
It's going to turn that backwards. And that's going to calculate how much electricity you're actually producing on your roof. So Miss Elma, you can be Miss Elma's utility company right there on your roof.
On the roof. The roof is on
You
Isn't
fire.
that
You can
amazing though?
You can. And then as that electricity is going through the meter, it's going to be stored out on the grid, just like you're getting electricity on the grid right now. But think of that electricity that you're actually producing. It's going out on the grid, and that's like your bank account of electricity.
Gosh.
And so
Wow.
as you're using electricity, that electricity that you created on your rooftop is actually coming back to you.
A wig! I can buy another wig! Just saving the money from electricity. Guess how many wigs can I buy?
A bunch.
This is really interesting.
That's
so
real
that's how
Wow.
it works. That's how it works.
Okay,
so
you said it turns the electricity backwards.
yes.
meter.
The meter.
Meter.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
the
meter.
meter
So
and
the electricity from your rooftop is going through the meter and it's turning it backwards. And that's
Wow.
calculating how much electricity you're actually producing.
Uh-huh.
It's stored out on the grid for you. And so your electricity comes back to you during the times that you need it.
Oh,
that cool?
okay.
Oh, so it's like in a holdover, like a
Yeah.
holding cell.
Like a savings account.
Yeah, like a
Exactly
savings
right.
kind of meeting.
Like a savings account in it, yeah.
It's a savings account. Yes, ma'am.
So
So
how
there we
many?
go.
Oh, look at
Wow.
that one.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
That ought to save them a lot of it.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so you have different types of solar,
So
right?
There are different
Different type,
manufacturers.
yeah.
There are different types of solar panels. There's
Mhm.
different types of inverters.
Right.
And it is a grid tied system. So one kind of misconception that people have is that, oh, I've got solar, therefore I'm off the grid. So that's not true.
Okay.
Because the solar, your electricity is being stored on the grid, right?
Mhm.
So if the power goes out, well, you're out of power too. Because you can't be pulling electricity from the grid when people are out there trying to work on it, right? You're gonna,
Mhm.
yeah, someone's gonna get hurt. We don't want that.
Oh, yes,
So,
we can.
Oh, now don't bring in all your old stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. And
What do you
so,
say, Chris?
So
Unless you have batteries.
exactly.
If
Oh.
you have batteries, you can. You still not off the grid, but if the grid is down,
Okay.
you can still
okay.
have power.
You
Some
can still
power.
have power.
Exactly.
So like a generator.
Like a
Generator,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So, you
Okay.
just go for solar.
Hey, I'm an engineer by degree, so you know I know
All
a
right.
little bit.
See,
I know a
yes.
little bit about this stuff, and,
Yeah.
and plus Linda used to go out there and do all that hooking up illegally.
Oh, no. Those do-it-yourselfers.
See, with this we couldn't do that.
Right. So absolutely. So the batteries, if the grid goes down, the battery power takes over, and you're generating the electricity that you generated has powered up those batteries. So it's all fun, and we enjoy what we do. And I'd love to, like I said, I'm still learning. I'm really fortunate in that I've got some really great partners, so I can really work with a homeowner and put a custom system in place based on what their needs are.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
great. So any other?
So let me ask you this. I see it's a bunch of them on this one because
On the
it's
top.
is it
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
from
a
one end to the other.
two-story, or they just wanted more panels?
Actually, every system is custom, and it's based on how much electricity a home is actually using.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, this house may just have 2 people living in it,
Mm-hmm.
or this house could have 10 people living in it with a swimming pool,
Okay.
right? So they're gonna so that's gonna determine how much electricity that house is consuming, and then how much solar we can get to offset. Sometimes we can get somebody to where they can generate 50 to 60% of their own power. And then other times we can get them pretty close to 100%. So
What
it's
about
all
the-
based on what they're consuming. So that's kind of my story.
Did you have a question?
What about your windows? Are those solar panel windows?
No, ma'am. These are just regular framed windows. That's a great question. Some of the older homes that aren't quite energy efficient, they're going to use more electricity as well.
Right.
So one of the best upgrades that you can do for a house besides the AC system would be looking at replacing some of the older windows and getting more efficient windows. And that's
okay.
going to help you conserve electricity as well.
Oh.
So, so solar is where you can actually, instead of being tied to a utility bill, I mean, that bill that comes in every month and you're just throwing money out the window because you never see that money again, right? Well, with solar, you can actually pay yourself. You're actually taking that budget and putting it into something that you can actually own. And so that's the beauty of solar and why so many people are going solar.
How long does it take to install solar?
The average system is usually about 35 panels, and we can install that in a day.
Wow.
One day. So depending on where the home is, we'll work with the HOA if there is one. We'll work with the city to pull any of the permitting. That can take 3 to 4 weeks. And then once we get everything green lighted, we get the crew out and we're up and running with the panels installation in a day.
So how does it work when it's like a week of rain or 2 weeks of rain or?
That's a great question. Right? We live in Texas. Everybody, solar is throughout the world.
Right.
But there are solar panels in almost every country. And so each country has its own climate. Here in Texas, we're prime for solar. And yet we're probably less than 2% of the market right now. Right.
Right.
So we've got to get people educated on how solar works. And that's what Chris and I are really trying to do, is educate more people on how powerful solar is, not just from a cost saving standpoint, but because it's the right thing to do for the environment. Right.
All right.
So if there is rain, Kimberly, like you said, remember we talked about that electricity that you're producing is going out to the grid.
Right.
So on days that you're not using it, it stores up. But if there's rain or overcast, you'll still be tied to the grid, so you can always have access to buy more power.
So
And also the solar works with God's light, daylight. You might
Okay,
have
just
not of
daylight,
the
not
sun.
so much
Yes.
the sun, but daylight.
Yes. So
Okay.
you have several of our customers, they have solar, and they will tell, hey, Chris, Mr. Chris, my meter is going backward, or sending power, producing more than I need in a more clean term for people to understand, producing more than I need, and it's cloudy outside.
Okay.
That means that they're having from the daylight power being produced, producing more than they need. So in Texas, we have about 66 days normally where the sun is not necessarily there, but solar still producing this time. And it still produce, but it produce less, like Leesa says. Yes. Mhm.
So how much will a bill, compared to your electric bill and the solar bill, which one would fan the best?
You want to take that, Leesa? Okay. So,
Yeah,
so if we build it at 100%, what is solar? It's really a reallocation of funds from paying the electric bill that is constantly going up and never stopping to taking the same money, owning your own power.
Okay.
You follow that? You're reallocating the money here. Like I said, Miss Emma, is it Emma or Elma?
Elma.
Elma, I'm sorry. Miss Elma, you're paying $150 a month,
Okay.
right? You're giving it to Reliant.
Okay.
It's just called one name, or Encore, right?
Okay.
Every single month, and you have an increase per year up to 5%, combined inflation and the cost of the transportation of the power and all. 150 next year is maybe 161. The following year, 170. And I come and I say, I will give you solar covering your 100% literally, meaning you might have a bill for $5 or maybe negative $10. Yes, negative $50. Yeah, bills can get negative. Have you had a negative bill before? You're about to get one with solar.
Believe me, I've got negative bills right
Yes, so negative bill exists.
negative.
Oh,
They
really?
exist, yeah. Well, you look at it and you just smile because the
It's a
company.
wig.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can actually set a system where we calculate how much saving you have
Yes.
in terms of how many wigs we'll
I
be
can
getting.
buy- Woo!
Yes. So you'll be talking like in the 200 to 300 wigs a year.
That's gonna kill my
Set you free.
That's a lot of women that he got.
So,
Can we recalculate that in shoes?
yes.
For Kimberly, but shoes.
Shoes,
Kimberly getting those
glasses.
shoes.
I mean, solar will set you
Wow,
free.
that would be, that's neat.
So that's a reallocation because it's an expense that you will always use.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't just go, hey, I'm going to stop with my electricity today.
Wow.
What's going to happen if you stop? You'll be in the dark.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you already have the money to go solar, but you just don't know about it.
Yeah.
So one of the part of the show here is Leesa is presenting it. We're going to give an opportunity to people to go solar. There's several opportunities there. They go solar, they set free from the electric bill. You see, when you buy a home, it's for a purpose to basically some point owning.
Right.
Now, that's one area of it. We'll be teaching them, we'll be inviting them, your audience, to not only go solar. Leesa gave her site. I also have a site. We work together,
Okay.
but we also give them employment right now. Anybody, the Lord has moved us out from a previous company where we created our own.
Oh.
And then we can hire anybody.
Okay.
Teach them how to make the vision of the team. The team, which I'm leading the team, by the grace of God, is called the Eagles.
Okay. Oh,
Because
that's
we
a good
soar.
one. Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Soaring.
We soar, and I'm
Yeah.
a Christian, a fanatic of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Kingdom builder
Okay.
and multiple business, multiple $1 million producer. So the vision is 1,000 reps
Okay.
in the next 2 years,
Okay.
teaching them how to make $100,000 a year part-time.
See, and that's good.
Part-time.
That is
Yes, because they
awesome.
can do whatever they want to do.
Yes.
They
That's
can
awesome.
continue going to the restaurant or doing this, doing their hair, but also becoming a solar expert. And we teach them how to make $100,000 a year part-time.
What about full time?
Then the sky is the limit.
It still goes up higher.
$100,000 a month. I mean,
Wow.
disclaimer, income is,
Charge. Let me ask you this.
disclaimer right there.
Do y'all put it
Result
on
in the-
businesses?
Yes, we
Y'all,
put-
y'all do them on businesses?
We do
and,
businesses as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we do businesses as well. Yes.
That's awesome. That
Yes.
is
So
awesome.
absolutely. So right now with the COVID, people losing their jobs, solar
yeah.
is exploding.
Wow. That's
Yes,
good.
it is exploding.
That's interesting.
And so yeah, absolutely.
So you do training?
all of it.
All of it.
We train from scratch with no experience.
Wow. So
Yeah, we-
anybody?
Anybody, we take anybody from zero if they follow the rules. Because you have to
You
follow.
got to
meaning
follow some rules.
You were talking about belief
gotta be
earlier. You have to
committed.
believe it.
Yes.
But we're leading from experience.
Okay.
So Leesa is a part of a team. Leesa is she's one of the trainer.
Okay.
So a part of the team. We're
Oh,
training
okay.
you to go godly, renewable instead
That's
of
interesting.
fossil fuel. And then if you committed, we have 100% success rate unless you quit.
So you're going out, talking to different people.
We're teaching them how to do that. We
Do
have
that?
online generation. But
Okay.
at the end of the day, any business is about talking to people.
Right.
Right.
So you have to be a people person to.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, you have to. Actually, everybody is a people person. That's a perception.
Some just don't talk.
Some refuse to talk, but they do talk at some point.
Yeah.
But you see, they do talk at some point.
They do. They have to.
You learn to communicate in integrity
Yes.
and then transfer the value of solar to your son, to your daughter, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So that's a skill that we train. We just
That's
train you to.
interesting.
You see, when you have people not talking, it's because they're afraid. The Bible calls it the fear of man.
Right.
We eliminate that.
Right.
We go from the fear of man to confidence.
Yes.
To presenting
Yes,
what we
I
need to
love it.
present.
Yeah.
And we do it in integrity. Because sales has gone from being manipulative. You see the cliche of a car salesman. Sales is not dirty. You don't have to push it on anybody.
No.
And especially not solar. Solar really deliver itself.
Self. Yeah.
I wanna
can
do-
see that.
Just quickly here, let's role play just a little bit. I'm at your house and I'm like, Miss Elma, $150 here. You'll be paying about $55,000 in the next 20 years for this house.
Okay.
We get you qualified for solar.
Okay.
You'll be paying you're paying 150 average. You might be paying 160 right here. Average per ownership. So you're leasing at a rate that is variable and limited going up. And over here, I say 160, not changing,
Okay. 160 not changing.
giving you an option to pay it off.
Then
After we qualify you, then you are completely out of bills, out of electric bill, meaning you bid it. And we also teach you how to pay it off because we have a very powerful referral program. The referral program that we have, we pay anybody that comes to work or is willing to share solar, like we're doing here. We'll pay you $1,000 for everybody that's signed.
So you have a contract. You sign a contract.
Yeah, you
for
sign
the
a contract
solar.
of purchase, like you do a contract of purchase for
So-
your house.
How many years?
That's a great question. The years depend on what you choose.
okay.
25 years, 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, 10. But the beauty of it is this. The majority of people would choose, okay, I'll take it for 25 years because I'm paying already the 150 here. I want to take this 150, put it here, only pay $10 for ownership, but that 160 does not change. This 150 here is a variable dynamite that will get you to 370 at some point.
700.
700 at some point. But you have here, and you replace it with, you already have the money to pay for, but you're just giving it to the company.
Company.
Now we're taking that money from giving it to them to adding to the equity of your house. Solar is about ownership.
Okay.
If we can get you at 100%, we get you at 51, we get you at 60, but you still, have you heard of people owning a company at 51%? There's several of them out there,
Yeah, several.
right? 51%. So
51%.
you're owning it instead of leasing. So we have multiple faces of options here.
Right.
You go solar. We are advocate of solar.
Okay.
And anybody right now that is following us that need the job. So as leading the team, I have 7 years experience in this space.
Okay.
I'm a multiple $1 million producer, well known. So I have the plan.
Okay.
If you, that's one of the people, I thought I was on silent. I'm sorry, but it's one of the agent calling.
Okay.
So if they're willing to follow the plan with me and Leesa, we train them and we turn them successful if they follow the plan.
Okay.
When I say we have 100% success rate unless they quit,
Okay.
meaning we teach, and there's a part of our team, we have a call every morning at 8 o'clock. That's an inspiration called Daily Excellence Motivational Call that I lead personally.
Okay.
So I lead the call. The whole team is based on the word. I'm a Jesus fanatic, successful person that came from zero in America 21 years ago, $87 in my pocket, no English. I speak multiple languages. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I have a track record. So when I say I can turn anybody successful, I'm not just talking.
Well, let me ask a question. Say that you signed a contract for 10, you said 10, 15, and 25, right?
Uh-huh.
Years.
10, 12, 15, 20, 25. You choose.
Okay.
You choose.
So after you paid off you finish your contract, what happens will the solar system ever go out, or do you have to re-upgrade it?
Oh, that's a great
That's a
question.
good one. That's a good
Fantastic
one.
question. Thanks for
Leesa,
asking.
take that one.
Oh, sure.
Let's
Absolutely.
go. Uh-huh.
I love that question because so many people, that's just a really good question. So how it works is this: one, it's the technology, right?
Okay.
It's so funny, you buy a cell phone every few months, this thing gets upgraded, right? We're talking about electricity, guys.
Right.
That's not changing.
That's not. We
So-
need
Right.
it.
It's not changing.
Yeah.
And so the technology that we put in place is going to last. Now we provide a 30-year insurance across the board for the whole system. Okay. 30 years is all covered in the plan. And as far as with the technology goes, the technology is just converting the sun's energy into the electricity that you need for your house. Right. And so we have a guarantee that
That's
says
interesting.
when we say your house is going to say your house produce, do you know how many kilowatt hours you're using in a month?
No.
Now, there are
Most
two
people
possible.
don't.
Most people don't.
I used to
Most
know
people- I
it, but
didn't-
now when you get my age, you don't remember all
Oh
that.
my God.
I know.
I didn't have a clue. You know what? For years and
No,
years
no.
and years, and I've been in my house for 28 years, and I had my utility bill set up just as automatic withdrawal,
Right.
month after month after month. And after I've been in my house all these years, I've gone back and I know I've probably spent $60,000 something dollars
More.
Yes.
just in electricity that I didn't even know. If I had
That's-
known
I'm gonna
about
start
solar
calculating.
energy, I would have done this much sooner. So does that answer your question?
And also the
And so-
lifespan of power panels are 40 years.
Yes.
They go up to 40 years.
40.
The
40.
Panel themselves, yes.
Oh, okay.
So the
years.
technology is really where solar, by the way, you saw what she talks about Albert Einstein.
Right.
Solar has been out there for 65 years.
Right. Right.
So the technology is exploding. In America, we're still behind. It's more political than anything else.
Yeah.
You go
Okay.
to Australia, Egypt, they so advanced in solar. You have countries that are over 50% solar. California, by the way, right here in the US, is 85% solar.
Really?
Yes.
There will be
That's
100%
interesting.
solar by 2022,
That-
residential portion.
I think
Yeah,
I can
so,
see that.
and you have Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado,
Hawaii.
Hawaii, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas. They're all going in the same direction. And we cover all those states
Oh.
in what we do.
What, you know those things that you see,
going towards Abilene.
yeah, they be flying, you know, the little
the
windmill?
wind-
Is that
windmill?
part of the solar thing? or
No,
what?
it's a different
That's different
technology.
thing.
Yes, it's a different technology that
Oh,
has been
okay.
exploding as well. But our focus is solar. That technology is still up there price-wise.
Oh, okay, 'cause
It's
you
still
see 'em
way-
all along when you're going towards
It's still
Amazon.
way expensive, but solar has caught up with anybody. The
Okay, let me ask you this. You know, you see the solar out there. It's like a wine thing. They got them all laid out.
Oh, that's called those. I'm just,
What is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I just
you
have-
see them all out there. Look like they planted them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just
they're
out
what we
there.
call
Let me
a ground
show you.
mount. They are
Yeah.
put on the ground.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you
what
have-
is that?
I just had a.
So what is that where? Yeah, like that. You
Yes.
see them like that.
That's a
called
ground mount.
It's called a ground mount.
Okay. So is that?
This is an option for homeowners or for ranchers or farmers. So not every house qualifies for solar. Okay, because
Okay.
we've got to have sun, right? We've got to have sun coming onto these panels.
Okay.
So some houses are just covered in trees,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And I've had conversations with
Yeah.
homeowners, and it's
Oh, okay.
basically, well, how much do you love your trees? And they'll say, well, my great grandfather planted that pecan tree; it's not coming
Right.
down. I'll say, okay, great. Look at this. You've got wide empty space over here. Here's the option for you. We can build a ground mount. And when we build a ground mount, now the best place for solar is south-facing roof lines.
Okay.
So an advantage of a ground mount is that we can find an area of land. You need a little bit of land or space to build the ground mount, and we just face it due south
Okay.
so that it gets that maximum amount of sunlight throughout the day. So absolutely, we do. I would say probably 25 or 30% of my business has been ground mounts.
Wow.
So when you see them all out there like that, that's what they're doing. Because you can go through and see a whole like
solar
And
farms,
Yeah.
those are the solar
plants
farms.
too.
That's a
These
different-
the farmers,
Yeah.
solar farmers here. That's a different deal as well.
Okay.
That's like a business replacing the electricity completely in a certain area.
So how
So-
many panels would you have to, for them to get adequate solar energy, how many panels would you have to place?
It's all depend. That's a great question. It depends on your consumption.
Okay,
Meaning that you see, solar is a precise game.
okay.
Okay, so we come to your house. We find out, Miss Linda, you're using 13,000 kilowatt per year. We build the system equivalent to that in
Oh,
panels.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you can't talk about the price of your home compared to people coming. Okay, their house is bigger than mine, and they paid less because they're using less electricity. So we basically
okay.
build it based on your consumption.
All right.
Now,
all right.
another qualification, of course, it's and we have to mention that is, at this point here, all the banks that we use will qualify based on credit. So credit has to be decent, right?
Right.
So yeah. So
what is a decent credit score?
a decent credit score is
For you all, be for the panel. If you was okay, what is about this? You know, they have it for housing. You got to have at least what, a 520 or something?
no house is
A
about
600 is-
but
it's
of
five
course
something.
580. Right?
580. I knew it was right around
580,
that far.
620.
Yeah.
But you
Wow.
still want to be on the other side as far
Like
as, far as
seven-
What's
credit.
the other side, Chris?
Like
650 up.
So we can go out there and steal somebody credit.
No, actually, no, you don't need to steal. Actually, we have banks that allow you co-signing. Later, even in that, they can
But as long as we have at least a 650.
The 650 app is that's where
Oh,
we really
yeah.
want you to be. But a lot of people don't even know what type of credit they have.
I do.
So
I'll be
that's why we
checking
still
mine.
qualify
Yes.
because I've had people telling me my credit is so bad and you run it to 750. They never knew about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's,
I just
we-
brought on Saturday, and she had no idea. She because she just bought a house, but she had over 700 credit score. She didn't
Yes.
know. It was great.
Wow.
And that's a challenge, okay?
Yeah.
Because 9 out of 10 people that Chris and I meet with say yes. We run the numbers, and it's a no-brainer. But then the challenge is, looking to get that financing approved. So we do have, we do have a couple of like credit advisors, and I've had homeowners that if we couldn't get them qualified this month, they can get their credit score up to a certain level. We keep in touch, and as soon as they get to that 650, they'll call me and say, "Hey, I'm at where I need to be right now. Let's get this done." And so,
Yeah, we fix the fixing the
we help
credit,
them
meaning
fix their credit.
improving it. Yes.
Wow.
because it's a win-win. Because in the long, they're saving money, they're investing in their home. Also, solar is the only home improvement that you can make for your home that will not increase your property taxes.
That's good.
You put a swimming pool in your backyard and spend $50,000 on that. Guess what? Your property taxes go up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Solar, not with solar. It's an investment and increases the equity without increasing the taxes. So,
Okay.
And-
So,
it's a
okay.
wonderful thing.
Another one, the government right now give you a 26% tax credit. Meaning if your solar is 50,000, 26% of it is a tax credit. A
Oh,
tax credit is
That's good.
the portion of the taxes that you do not get back that is withheld by the government. From that portion,
Okay.
you can pull it out up to 26% and like $10,000, $12,000 get it back the following year because you went solar. Only if you go solar.
Wigs,
Yes.
wigs, Pastor. Wigs.
Way more wigs.
I know more wigs, huh?
Lace front
Yes,
now.
Ain't you?
yes.
Lace front now.
Yeah. So that's the
Awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
that's available.
And so this is just a few more little fun facts. So there will be more homeowners switching to solar energy in the next 2 years than has been in the past 20 years combined.
Wow.
Okay. And these are just some reasons why that's happening. Chris really, mentioned
Yeah,
the fact
he
that
did.
energy bills increase 3 to 5% a year. And so what you're paying at 150 now in 5 years, that could easily be 170 to 180, and you have no control over it because we've got an aging grid system. And here in the North Texas area where we are, people are moving in from all over.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
not keeping up. You
Yes.
see the construction, you see the new home
That's
buildings.
right. It's
Right.
going.
And those grids need to be, something's going to happen, and the electric bills keep going higher and higher. People are working from home
That's
right
true.
now. We've got this
Yes.
COVID going on,
Right.
and so our businesses have just doubled in the last few months. When you're looking at the amount of solar that people are putting on their roofs, it is an investment versus a liability. It's the same thing. Why buy a home instead of just renting a house? Your electric bill is a liability because it'll never go away.
Yes.
It'll never go away,
You're right.
right? So you can take that same money and just put it into solar and pay it off and increase your equity, etc. And then solar, it's clean energy. So, and I've had homeowners, they want solar simply because it's the right thing to do for the environment, right?
This is
That's right,
interesting. Yes.
And then again, the 26% federal tax credit. And then there's local incentives based on cities that where there's some cities that are also offering some types of incentives to help go solar as well. And then Chris and I, we work with the homeowners, and we are there to get them the best quality materials, the best system for the best price.
So what if your house is already paid off?
That's good.
That's awesome. That's
If the
great.
house is-
So how does that work if your house is already paid off?
The house is paid off. Now, the fact that the house is paid off has nothing to do with solar
Okay.
because we still have to qualify you.
Okay.
Unless
so
you
it
pay
doesn't matter.
cash, a certain percentage pay cash. About 3% of people pay cash. They pay cash
for the
for the whole package.
whole package.
And they have the tax credit coming up on the back end. Yeah, so
So let me ask you this. I know it's a far question, but what is an example of just saying this package you can pay is how much? Just giving an example. What could it be?
just an example. So an example can be okay.
Because I'm a consumer, I'm a customer.
Is it customer?
Oh, can you come over and talk?
Does it be on the mic?
Yeah,
Okay.
come here in the mic.
Okay.
Let's
She
see.
sold me.
She
I
sold
did. I did. Oh, did I mention this is also my husband?
It's right here on the
I'm
stage.
Steve. Okay,
Come on.
I'm Steve.
Yeah,
Okay.
Steve.
So
Okay.
at our house, we average about 1,600 kilowatt hours a month.
Wow.
Okay. And that was, even on averaging, we were paying between $220 and $250 a month
Okay.
for our electric bill. Well, our loan is $194 a month, and we haven't had an electric bill since we put the solar panels in.
Wow.
Really?
And so far, and that was December 1st, so far we've built up a $320 credit with the utility company. So that as temperatures are going up and I'm consuming more off the grid than I'm putting in, I'm working off of that credit now with the utility company.
So you're not.
So I still don't have a bill.
You don't have a bill.
I don't have a bill.
So your money, you just paying on the loan.
Right. And when we're done with the loan, we own the system, we own our electricity,
So you paying yourself.
You
Yes.
got it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right,
Wow.
Miss
That's
Elma.
what
You're
you're
paying
saying.
yourself
Yourself.
instead of an electric company.
Wow.
You're paying yourself.
I bet the electric company doesn't like that.
Well, yes and no, because what
Okay.
you're doing is you're relieving the utility company of having to build more generating facilities.
That's good.
That's true. That's true.
Helping
Okay.
them.
Yes, you're actually
That's why they
helping
have
them.
incentives.
And that's why
Yes.
it's important when Lisa goes out, when she comes home sometimes, it's, oh, we're dealing with this co-op, this electric utility co-op that's really finicky about what they're going to allow the homeowner to do. And a lot of times it's because that co-op is small, like compared to TXU.
Yeah.
So they need revenue no matter what.
Okay.
Right.
But if you find a good utility company that says, "Oh, yeah, we'll use the power you're making," that saves us effort. Then they give you the credit for that power.
Wow. And that credit pays your bill.
Pays my bill.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing.
So
Yeah.
do you take your husband? This is Lisa.
$220 to
What is your
$250 a
name?
month, Steve.
Steve, this is Lisa's husband. You also do you take Steve out with you? Go. He's a good seller too. He's a good convincer up here. You know.
Well, I'm the engineer in the family,
Oh,
so
you the engineer
I had to
too?
be I had to be convinced.
He is.
But now I'm convinced.
You convinced. That's what I'm saying. That's teamwork. So he comes up. and He was anxious to come up and say, "Hey, I can do this," you know. But that's
The
good.
bill was your bill, electric bill prior to that was
$220 to $250 a month.
wow.
Yeah. And now we
That
pay
is a big difference,
$194 on the loan,
Uh-huh.
and I have no electric bill.
God.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And
Plus-
we'll probably have the loan paid off in a couple of years.
Yeah.
We're just going to pay it off.
Yeah.
So, because there's no prepayment. So the solar industry works like this. There's no money down to get started with solar. And the first solar payments typically aren't due for 45 to 60 days after the panels are on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then you're starting to produce your solar. And now instead of spending that $250 a month on your electric bill, I'm saving $50-$60 a month right off the bat.
Wow.
Or you could add extra
Or
and
I
pay
can
it off
take
quicker.
that extra 50, right? And I can still spend that $250 a month and put it on the loan.
So,
There's no prepayment penalty.
No prepayment penalty.
That's
What was your
awesome.
plus, Steve?
So our plus is averaging about $50 a month right now.
Oh, keep it right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but keep in mind, every situation is different. So this was the scenario for my home. Each home has its own
Different.
footprint, and everything's at a different rate. So that's exactly why Chris and I are consultants. We just do the consultation. We do the evaluation of the house. Is the house qualified? We help the homeowner look through their utility bills to find out what that usage actually is. And then we go from there. We put a system in place that's going to be ethically the best system in place for that homeowner.
Okay.
Go
Go.
ahead.
My question was just: have you ever had where you had to go in and it just won't work? The panel will not work on this house.
Yes, I've turned down business before. Absolutely.
Oh, you had.
Yes, I've gone to homes and I've said, how much do you like those trees? And they'll say, oh, I love those
Oh.
trees. And I'm like, okay, well,
And they said
sorry.
no.
Yeah, you got to love solar more. And I've actually had homeowners cut down 5 or 6 trees to go solar. They said, I'd rather have the solar because they'll know that solar. So by going solar, they're actually going to save probably 2,000 or 3,000 trees over the course of the next 20 years versus the cost of those 4 trees.
Wow.
So they're like, yeah, I'll cut those trees down. I want the solar panels on my roof. So exactly, not every house qualifies for solar.
Oh,
So
okay.
there is a majority there, and it's a smaller majority, but if we see that there's shade issues for that, then we'll have to let the homeowner know.
And if they refuse to remove the trees, of course, it's defeating the purpose from the transfer of power from the sun to the panels.
Right.
So, but the shading issue is one of the only one, but it's also even if somebody can only be covered at 30% or 40%, it's still ownership. I really lead with ownership. Do you want to be wasting your money like you have done for the past 20 years? Or you want to now take that 30% control? Because we can't get you at 100, but we can get you at 30 where your dependence to the electric companies reduced to only 70%. Am I making sense? And then before I forgot, for your audience, even if credit is wrong, they can still contact us, because if credit is wrong, it's not only wrong or bad for solar. Everything is bad.
Everything is bad with the credit.
Insurance is bad.
Yeah.
Right now, even unemployment can be bad.
Yeah.
You see, we will
That's
help
true.
them get it to 650, and eventually they go solar, and their life gets better. If they go to the dealership, they're not going to get 24%, right?
Let me.
Yes. So it's
just helping them get
bigger
their credit
Yeah.
than
is
just
something that
credit.
we
It's
help
bigger
do
than
as well.
solar. It's a
Right.
changing life type of situation.
Yeah.
Right.
What was your
What was your
question, Ms.
My question is, all these new homes coming up, do y'all not go and ask the contractors if they want to install solar into the homes that's not above, around the trees and stuff? And would that
Yeah, that's a
would
good
that
one.
help help sell solar also, and help the person that's buying the home?
Oh, those who are buying a home?
Yeah.
Brand new home,
You know,
brand
like
new-
the contractor, you
contractors.
go and
Yep.
talk to the contractor
Oh,
to see who's
yeah, we
building
do.
Yeah,
it.
the
To
developer.
It's a
see.
part of the strategy. We do.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. The sky is the limit. With solar right now, we've only it's between 3 to 5% penetration. Actually, across the U.S., only 3% penetration
Okay.
across the U.S.
Okay.
In Texas here, yeah, we're estimating 2 to 3. Also, so the sky is the limit. It's really depending on. It depends on how hungry are you? Yes, in this space, disclaimer,
Okay.
$100,000 a month is not unusual. $200,000 a month in income is not unusual. Again, disclaimer, depending on your work ethic, how strong you are in the hustle, etc. The sky is the limit. The market is there,
Yeah.
and the time is right now. The time is now. So where you take control. So just basically,
You've been doing solar for 7 years.
yes.
What sparked your interest versus, because there's so many other types of business. What sparked?
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's get. I can talk for a long time on that, but how did I get into it? So let me tell you.
I love this
Get
story.
here.
Yeah.
I got, when I first got here, I had to learn the language. I already had a degree from economics in Belgium. So and then I came, learned the language because the American didn't want to take the consideration of the European degree.
That's right.
So I did a trade school and shifted to computer engineer as a network engineer. So I worked for a company right here in Fort Worth, where I was in the IT department. And so I discovered pretty quickly that was not the American dream. That was quick.
I think my host can speak to that. But that's another story.
The dream was, I am a computer, because the deal is immigrant, when we come here, we mainly do two things. Either in the medical field,
Yes.
nurses or whatever,
Yes.
or in the technical field. You see all them Indian and stuff, right? So I went on the other side, the technical. As I'm studying all this and I'm in my office here, I sitting in my office. One day I'm literally just looking at a guy, and I'm not gonna call his name. He was retiring. He was a purchasing manager. I mean, first name Jim. So it can be anybody, right? And Jim is retiring in about 2 years. He's talking about it, and he's 62. I just turned 50 this year, July 3rd.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So it was really good. So my wife had a huge surprise for me. It was just unbelievable. So that's I've been surprising her for 20, so she surprised me at 50. That's good. I hate surprises, by the way. She
got
really
you, though.
got me on that one. Yeah, that was good. Now, I'm looking at Jim, and I had like a panic attack. I went home and told my wife, at that time, I turned 50 2020. It was 12 years ago. 2008? Yeah. And I'm like, that's me at 62. I just lost my sleep. And and I knew, because I have responsibility in Africa here, And I'm like, okay, this is really the American nightmare. It's not really the dream I was thinking about. And at that time, I started going to a church in Arlington called Cathedral of Praise. That was my first mentor, Dr. Jean Lingerfeld. That's my first mentor as far as start looking at different space. Okay, so with Dr. Jean, we were meeting at his church at 5 a.m. From 5 to 6, we pray, and then from 6 to 7, he was taking us to a restaurant. And as we're doing that, one day I'm just sitting because the guy is pretty, he's well off as a pastor. So he told me one day, Chris, the money in America, you need to master sales and marketing. But I was in IT. So that was a difference. So
Yeah.
I pray about it. This with Dr. Jean, that was 2004 and 5. And I finally resigned from that position to go into entrepreneurship in 2008. So fear.
Yeah.
And then I just resigned, which I did wrong because now I can talk about it. But back then, I didn't
Good.
think it was wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that a friend of mine that used to sell insurance was making $150,000 a month. He had an agency. So he told me, his name is Ralph. I'm not going to call his last name. But he told me, hey, Chris, come over. And after having our second baby, I resigned from the company, and the company told me that some of them I'll be coming back, how dare I am, living instead of being fired, but I left. And pretty quickly, I find out that I didn't have the skills. So the deal was about calling. You had to call people and then set appointment.
Right.
And I find out that I can't call. I was so scared. I mean, literally just shaking. And I went into a 21-day fasting for the Lord to remove the fear. Came out of it, still couldn't call. So then we went homeless because you see the money that I put from my 401k kind of ran out pretty quickly.
Right.
And I still can't call. Then one day the Lord told me, you need to master your craft. You can't just, you have to really overcome that situation.
Yeah.
And I got a call from a company called, after we got kicked out of the house, hotel.com. And I had a wonderful lady who was my manager for one day, and I quit. So she really just had me in the wrong way, moving right along, right? So I quit. Then the next day I got a call from a company called ADT.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
ADT, that's where I started learning how to sell because I was an introvert.
Yes.
So I had to be transformed from inside. So the book that is coming out is called The Transformation from Inside Out. From the abundance of your heart, your mouth speak, but also from it, the issues of life flows out. But you have to master that inside. That's what I teach now. Back then, the Lord brought me to the process. Now, after about 9 months, through learning and through revelation, I really just mastered the craft from there. I went from being really unknown to one of the top for 7 years in a row. And then after, of course, I got involved in real estate in 2009. In the meantime, just multiple stream according to the book of Genesis. And 7 years ago, actually almost 6.5, that's how I got into solar. My wife had a dream. My wife is a prophet. We know that.
Well, you
now.
have to bring her on the show.
We need to talk to her.
so
We got to
she'll,
talk to her.
We got a prophet coming on after the
another show.
My wife is one of those. You see, I got into meantime. The Lord really touched my heart from my experience in Europe. I had a very bad experience in Europe, unfortunately. So, and through the word, the Lord started teaching me who I was. Because I was wounded from that 8 years experience in Europe. I'm going to leave it like that. So, by being transformed inside and becoming an addict, I'm a fanatic of the word. I'm not a pastor, but I love the word. I teach it, but I know I'm calling the business realm.
That's good. That's good.
I'm
the marketplace. Yeah, you have a marketplace.
To the marketplace, yes.
The marketplace, yes.
I pray for people and all that, but I am up there.
Yes.
So it happens. So now, As all that been removed, that was one of the requirements. I talk about this in my show this morning, in our calling, about the 1 Corinthians 3, 13, 4-8, the law of scripture. So I had to really be clean and start operating in integrity and knowing who you are, who I am, and then explosions start happening in terms of success. It didn't happen just absolutely right away.
Right.
So my wife had the dream. We were on like the roof, like on top of the roof.
Oh, she wasn't on top of
We
it.
were both there. And then she was telling me, I was so happy. She's like, why are you so happy? And I'm telling her, that's what I'm doing. I'm pointing the panels,
On the roof.
Wow.
not knowing what are the panels. So on the roof, that's how I got introduced to the business of solar.
Wow, isn't that? We're going to have your wife on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's
Amazing.
Is she?
she's,
That is awesome.
And the Lord has been, and that's how we started. It didn't take off right away. Solar
Yeah.
was very difficult to sell 7 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of our friends quit. A lot of them quit.
Yeah.
I stick it up because I had a vision
Right.
that the Lord had
Wow.
shown. Now, even through the previous company I was with, when I got there, I told them about the dream. Hey, I'm here to, I know what I'm going to do. So within
That's
3 or 4
good.
years, because I dominate whatever I touch.
Yeah.
Whatever I touch turns into gold.
All
Literally.
right now.
All right
All right
then.
And
now.
That's
so there's
awesome.
no competition.
Okay.
I don't care where you come from, unless you have the same routine I do. If you have the same relationship, the same 5 o'clock, speaking in tongue 2 or 3 hours a day, then you might beat me. Okay?
Oh, boy, this is getting good, but our hour is almost up.
This is good. Oh my
We're going to have
God.
y'all back.
I'm
This
gonna
is
speed it
awesome.
up. Unless you
Okay.
have that. So the previous company, I went to the top and won all the price, whatever prices. God has been good. So the process was tough. And now until the Lord really put the hand on it, and then income become unusual. That's why I say disclaimer, because it's unusual. But you
Yeah.
have to be tested
Yes.
before you can come up there. And
Yeah.
we have been, my wife and I, tested in every direction. So with COVID, something happened and the Lord redirected me in terms of, because the previous company, I couldn't teach this. I couldn't show people.
Right, right.
And then when COVID happened, through the work of the Spirit, so I had to make a decision
Okay.
to follow the direction, but stay in the same arena as far as one of the business, but it's a major one. And that's where the vision of the eagle came up. And Leesa, we have been close for even from the previous company, which, of course, they were not happy that I left. That's
I
another.
can understand that.
If they're following me, so they, they're sending me letters and stuff. So it's going crazy.
But it's interesting that you're saying that. We hate to close out, but
Yes.
before we close,
Yeah.
what would you want to share with the audience, and then you come back and share with the audience about whatever? What would you say to the audience tonight?
Oh my goodness, I just feel so blessed to be able to be here. I'm excited about this next chapter in my life.
Awesome.
I'm excited for you.
I am really excited.
Yes.
I've had my stories. There's been challenges in my life. I've had some great experiences. I've traveled the world. I've marketed great products, but nothing can compare to this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because the sky is literally the limit. And, as Chris is saying, I want to put as many solar panels on as many roofs and housetops here in the North Texas area as possible. But I also want to help people do the same thing.
Right. Get their money back.
Yeah.
Because there are people that are struggling right now financially. And I'm also a trainer. I'm very passionate about that, about teaching what I do. And then also we do have the ambassador program, to where anybody that even knows somebody that has a house that pays an electric bill, if we just get an introduction, then they put solar panels on their roof, it's $1,000. So and we've had that, many, many times. And so I'm just excited. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Give out your website again. And
Sure. Well, my email address is my first name, which is Leesa, LEESA, at SolarSunshine.earth. And then I have a Facebook page that is SolarSunshine USA. And I'll be updating with my website and get you that information as well. So,
okay, Chris, what would you leave?
Oh, wow. So I love the way you started the show. That's one of my favorite scripture, Philippians 1:6.
Yes, I love it.
It's whatever the Lord has started here will have fruit.
Yes.
It cannot be otherwise.
That's right.
So, and I'm so glad that I came.
Me too.
Leesa
Thank you.
Leesa told me it's going to be exciting. I was looking forward to it. And I would say this. So we would love to help anybody out there as far as solar is concerned, also career is concerned, maybe career change. So we have a website, solarpowerhelp.com.
Okay, solarpowerhelp.com.
So you can actually come through there, and through Leesa, the information that she gave, anybody interested, the Solar Power Help is lead generation. They can learn about solar.
Okay.
Anybody interested in coming a part of our team, please connect with Leesa as a part of the team, and then we'll be actually helping you. And our vision is simple: 1,000 reps, meaning individual, dad, mom, son, we teach you to $100,000 a year part-time. So whatever you're doing on the side, we can show you how to do this on a part-time basis. So come and test us. We have a proven system that works. It's been tested. And thanks again for having us. And God bless you.
Thank you. And we're happy to have Steve that came in. And Steve is Leesa. Have you have anything to say, Steve? Before we close?
It works.
It works. Steve says it works, and if Steve says it works, it works. So we can just drop the mic when Steve said that. And we appreciate you, Steve, for sharing your testimony about how it worked. And that's always good when you have somebody that actually been there, done that, and know it works. So, hey, if you're looking for solar, we want you to contact Leesa. You have her information, and we're going to put that at the bottom of the screen as well, so you can contact them. And hey, we're going to try to get those solars on those houses, and so we can save energy, electricity, and I can buy some wigs or whatever. And you all have been a blessing. I have enjoyed this, and I'm just excited just to know more about solar. I didn't know that much about solar. I didn't know all of that, so I have been educated, as we say in the country, tonight. So thank you all for taking the time out. Thank you, Steve, for joining in on, the show. Again, the Talk of Life Talk Show, Elma, is always airing on Mondays at 8 p.m., Facebook or YouTube. If you would like to be on the show to market your business or tell your testimony or whatever, please contact me at elmatalkshow.com, and we will love for you to be on this show. Again, it is a Christian-based talk show, but we do not worry about that because we know God is in control. Thank you again, Leesa. Thank you again, Chris. Thank you, Steve, for joining in. If nothing else, may God bless you and keep you until we see you face to face on the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma. Please subscribe. YouTube. Thank you. May God bless you. Out.